when the first contact alarm rang through the xenobiology wing. Dr. Hannah Reyes expected something terrifying, slimy, or at least aggressively tentacled. What she didn't expect was furniture. What rolled out of the containment shuttle wasn't a monster. It was a box, not metaphorically, literally. A cube, about the size of a shoebox, matte silver, hovering a few centimeters above the floor. Then another, and another. 12 cubes in total, arranged in a perfect, neat grid as if they were polite furniture waiting to be assembled. Hannah braced herself, her hand hovering over the biohazard alarm. Suddenly, a synthesized voice, calm and even, echoed through the sterile room. "Greetings, tall, soft species," the cubes said in perfect, chilling unison. "We are the Krr'tik Collective. Please do not scream." Hannah blinked, lowering her hand. "I wasn't planning to." "Excellenty," Collective replied, the cubes bobbing gently in the air. "We find screaming inefficient." Over the next hour, a truly bizarre first contact unfolded. Humanity learned that the Krr'tik were a hyper-advanced civilization of modular Kabian. They weren't individuals in the way we understood it. They were a hive mind, a collective consciousness housed in these strange silver boxers. They communicated by modulating vibrations, navigated space with microgravity manipulation, and had, apparently, accidentally crossed half the galaxy. They were looking for something they called essential nutritional joy units. Hannah furrowed her brow. "You mean food?" Sega said. "Yes," the cubes replied, "but not merely sustenance. Joy." And that was how Dr. Hannah Reyes, a leading xenobiologist, found herself in the peculiar position of being a glorified intergalactic waitress. She pushed a food cart laden with the best humanity and its allies had to offer into the containment chamber. She started safe, nutrient-paced, scientifically balanced for maximum energy, synthesized proteins, algae bars. She even had some rare, exotic alien fruits donated by the Galaxian Federation, known for their pungent but nutritious qualities. One by one, the cubes drifted over to the cart. They scanned each item with an array of invisible sensors. Their feedback was delivered with the same flat, emotionless tone. Acceptable, efficient, boring. They consumed the offerings through a fascinating process. Microscopic panels on their surfaces would dissolve. They'd absorb the matter directly, and then reseal themselves without a trace. It was the peak of efficiency. It was also, as Hannah was learning, incredibly dull. She sighed, leaning against the cart. "You crossed half the galaxy for this stuff." "We crossed the galaxy because our homeworld supply was depleted," the Collective replied. And for the first time, Hannah detected a hint of something else in their voice. A low, somber hum. "Without joy units, our culture stagnates. Creativity drops by 83.2%. Poetry ceases entirely." "That is serious," Hannah admitted. "Trying to imagine a world without poetry, without art, without joy." It sounded bleak. Later, during her lunch break, she sat in the observation booth, watching the cubes hover listlessly. On a whim, forgetting the open comes, she took a crisp, red apple from her bag. She bit into it. "Slero!" The sound, amplified by the sterile quiet of the chamber, was deafening. Crunch. Instantly, every single cube froze midair. Their surfaces, once a flat matte silver, began to shimmer with faint lights. Sensors flared to life, all focused directly on her. "Query," the Collective said. Their voice slow, deliberate, and laced with something Hannah could only describe as intense curiosity. "Identify that?" Hannah looked down at the apple in her hand, a small bite taken out of it. It's an apple. It's just fruit." The cubes drifted closer to the transparent wall, separating them, hovering eagerly like a pack of curious puppies. "Request permission to sample the crunch sphere." Hannah couldn't help but laugh. The crunch sphere. Sure. She walked back into the chamber, sliced the apple into small, manageable pieces, and placed one on a sterile tray. The smallest of the 12 cubes drifted forward, seemingly chosen as the official taster. It hovered over the slice for a moment, then, with the same efficient absorption process, consumed it. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The moment the apple slice was gone, the cube began to glow, not just a shimmer, but a bright, warm, radiant light from within. "Oh," the cube whispered, its individual voice separating from the collective for the first time. "Oh." Then, the entire collective erupted into a symphony of excited vibrations that rattled the very air in the chamber. Unprecedented, they declared in a joyous chorus. Texture variation confirmed. Sweetness and acidity and perfect oscillation. And then, the word that seemed to hold the most reverence. Crun. Crunch. The 12 cubes began to spin gently in the air, bumping into one another in a chaotic, happy dance. Hannah would later learn this was the Krr'tik equivalent of a standing ovation combined with a wild party. "This," the collective announced, their voices ringing with discovery and pure elation. "This is the ultimate joy unit," Anna smiled, watching the spectacle. "Totally apples. We're good." The cubes stopped their spinning and focused on her with an intensity that was almost unnerving. "You have farms of these?" they asked, the question hanging in the air. "Yeah," Hannah said casually. "Billions of trees. We have all different kinds. 2. Red ones, green ones, sweet, sour." The chamber went completely silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Then, with a tone of utmost gravity, the collective spoke. "We wish to negotiate immediately." And just like that, the course of human history changed forever. Within days, Earth, the small blue planet in an unremarkable arm of the galaxy, became the single most important agricultural partner in the known universe. The Krr'tik didn't want gold. They had no use for our primitive weapons. They didn't even want our technology, which was laughable compared to theirs. They wanted apples. Red delicious, Granny Smith, Honeycrisp, Fuji. They wanted crisp, juicy, imperfect apples with bruises and character. They wanted the crunch sphere in exchange for a steady supply of fruit. The Krr'tik Collective gifted humanity things we had only dreamed of. Clean, limitless energy matrices that ended our fossil fuel dependence overnight. Gravity stabilizers that made our buildings earthquake-proof and our vehicles impossibly smooth. And the Holy Grail, faster-than-light navigation algorithms that opened the stars to us. All because we grew good fruit. At the official interspecies treaty signing ceremony, Hannah stood beside the world leaders, watching the 12K Krr'tik delegates happily consuming apple slices, glowing softly like a dozen paper lanterns. It was beautiful. She leaned toward the lead negotiator cube. "I just have one question," she said. "Your species has existed for thousands of years, exploring the galaxy. How did you never find apples before?" The collective paused its munching. The glowing dimmed for a moment of reflection. "A statistical anomaly," they finally replied. "Most sentient species, as they advance, prioritize efficiency over experience. They engineer their food for maximum nutrition and minimal effort. You humans do not." Hannah took another bite of her own apple. Crunch the cubes hummed in a moment of reverent silence, a shared moment of pure appreciation. "Humanity," the collective concluded, its voice filled with a newfound warmth and respect, "is dangerously good at joy." And somewhere, across the vast emptiness of space, entire Krr'tik cities, dark for centuries, began to light up, powered not by cold fusion reactors, but by the simple, profound joy of an apple grown on a little blue planet where someone, long ago, decided that food shouldn't just be fuel. It should feel good, too. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content from across the galaxy. See you next time.